Part 85. Pokemon's Character Master. Author, Ai Ren Huoqiang Xiao. Chapter 870. The Salted Fish King has arrived, and Weedle, the Super Gym's resident trainer, doesn't even have the courage to take action. He is not qualified yet. In front of these arrogant resident trainers, Yang Yu slapped them in the face without mercy. With this strength, they can indeed be so domineering in their own family, but in front of Yang Yu, who gave them the courage. The spirit is commendable, but, sorry. Yang Yu's voice was still very calm, but in this calmness, his opponent couldn't help but tremble. The gym's resident trainer? If there weren't the most basic rules, Yang Yu wouldn't have to fight. However, it can be regarded as waste utilization. It can give Little Dream Demon and Hakron more practice moves and activities. These days, I am really a little idle, and the Little Dream Monster's battery even went out of order once. Iwdle's feet went weak, but he managed to stand firm and hurriedly left the field. Devil, devil, devil. Anyone with a discerning eye can see that if Yang Yu released this giant Gyarados early in the morning, who would be the resident trainers, who would want to waste time? You should obviously be thinking about how to escape. Now, in the Super-type gym, the only trainer who can fight is the gym leader Aizen. In the VIP area, Mkinson, president of the Boston Elf Alliance, moved his eyes mechanically and pointed at the giant Gyarados in front of him. Is this really a Gyarados? President, this should be trainer Yang Yu's Gyarados. George quickly wiped the sweat from his forehead. When this Gyarados appeared, cold sweat broke out on him. Mackensen made gestures with his fingers in the air. Why, it's so big. Boss, could it be that you took some enlargement potion? Mackensen. George, are you a pig? I feel dizzy when I hear what you say. There isn't much time left for Super Gym leader Aizen. The challenger Yang Yu has already drawn his sword, and all Aizen can do is attack head-on. Under the eyes of everyone, Yang Yu, a trainer from China, completely followed the basic rules of the World Elf Gym War without any overstep. He couldn't find fault even if he wanted to. Come on, master. Come on, gym leader, defeat this arrogant trainer. The owner. Aizen's eyes fell on the giant Gyarados next to Yang Yu. Although he was completely shocked, as a super-type gym leader, he still had confidence in his own strength. For super elves? Just because the opponent is strong does not mean that the opponent will definitely win. Because of the magical superpower, it is not difficult to transform the opponent's power into one's own power, and even defeat the strong with the weak. With superpower, everything is possible. However, in this first battle, Aizen had to prepare to send out his most powerful elves. Because the opponent's momentum was already strong, it was Aizen's own bad idea to let the resident trainer delay time. What the hell, what a procrastination. Aizen really has a headache now, and all of this is caused by this abominable trainer Yang Yu in front of him. Aizen must use the most powerful elf, to make Yang Yu understand what the real superpower is. Super Gym Leader, Aizen. Challenger, Chinese Trainer, Yang Yu. Aizen. Yang Yu. Likewise, for the sake of absolute fairness, Yang Yu entrusted Lily Sakura and Hu Jing with Regielocke's Pokeball, Croat Frog, Jigglypuff, Mimikyu, Tijipai, and Frost Milk Fairy. In this way, the elves Yang Yu is going to send are Salted Fish King, Silly, Big Beauty, Little Bayo, Little Dream Demon, and Hakron. There are only 6 elves around, and the elf battle is extremely formal, leaving no possibility for the opponent to make up lies to cheat. Before coming to North America, Yang Yu always kept in mind the words of Dragon Gym leader Yun Zhenfei and Fairy Gym leader Ye Yan. If you are upright, you are not afraid of slanted shadows. As long as you follow the absolutely formal rules of elf battle, no matter how the gyms in North America fabricate facts or make false accusations, they can't hide the fact that Yang Yu won the gym battle openly and honestly. Sorry, Yang Yu is so impeccable in his work. Come out, Metagross. Super-type gym leader Aizen's ace elf, Metagross. Metagross is an elf with dual attributes of steel and super energy. It has very powerful physical attack and defense capabilities. It is like a supercomputer with extremely precise computational thinking in its mechanical brain, which can calculate the trajectory of the opponent's moves in advance. Make the best response as soon as possible. It's the Metagross. Cai Xuanyi looked a little solemn. These students at Yanjing Elf University are no strangers to elves like Metagross. In the arena, you can occasionally see Metagross. For students, Metagross is synonymous with invincible. It is precisely because of the computing power that is comparable to that of a supercomputer. In the elf battle, you can see through all the tricks of the student elves early on. Even if they are monolithic, even many gym-level trainers cannot get even a little bit from Metagross. Benefit: the National Elf Extranet is controlled by Metagross in the Network Security Center, which can maintain the network security of the entire country. One can imagine the terrifying computing power of Metagross. The Master's big killer. Steady. As soon as Aizen came up, he used his ace elf, absolutely powerful physical defense ability, even if he faced Gyarados, which is famous for its violent physical attack capabilities. Ahem. What, he won't send Gyarados? Dragon comes on stage. When Kansan saw the appearance of Metagross, he felt reassured, and his analysis was succinct. But who knew, Yang Yu, the trainer of the Chinese country, had no intention of letting the giant Gyarados take action. Instead, he was sending Dai Dai. The stupid king appears to fight? What? Send the slow king. But it doesn't matter who you send, this must be the tactic of Chinese trainer Yang Yu. That's right. We may be able to see this giant Gyarados appear in a duel later. I've seen this slow king, I've seen it. The dessert master in the slow dessert shop in Hada Elf University, isn't this the slow king? Oh my god, it turns out to be him. If he is injured, who will make us desserts? Please, King Slow must win. The North American audience really wants to see the scene where the giant Gyarados fights against Metagross, but the game has just begun. The more critical moments later, sending out the giant Gyarados on the stage, it will be extremely refreshing. In the auditorium, the Slowpoke puppet was jumping excitedly at this moment. It seemed that he could watch the Slowpoke fight the first battle of the elves, and he was extremely excited. We have to defeat our opponents in the areas they are best at. Yang Yu's eyes fell on Dede. Yeah. Next to Yang Yu, Dada nodded happily with his big, round head. Just leave it to Dede. Dede has always been very reliable. The opponent Metagross is only a gym-level player with a strength close to that of a quasi-king. Dudu, you have already crossed the threshold of the King of Heaven. He glanced back at the direction of the dumb king puppet on the stand, then raised his head and glanced at Xian again. Yeah. Take a steady step toward the venue. Put your hands on your golden conch cap. The hat is worn correctly. Pokemon's Character Master. Author, Ai Ren Huoqiang Xiao. Chapter 872. The atmosphere was condensed. The actions that can put Dede into a serious state are, first, wearing his Dede chef hat. Every time Dede makes delicious food, he takes it very seriously. Second, Dai Zheng is wearing a golden conch cap, which means that Dai Dai is about to enter combat mode. It is like a switch, and Dai Dai's combat mode is turned on. Have you ever seen Professor Yang Yu's Slow King move in an elf battle before? Cai Xuanyi couldn't help but ask. Almost all the students around Cai Xuanyi wanted to speak, but they couldn't help but froze here. Did King Dudu take action? It seems, yes, right, Fang Jian said in a weak tone, not very sure, I saw it when I was teaching, but it was not an elf battle. Does making desserts in a dessert shop count as taking action? Chiumenki raised her hand, and she was embarrassed to answer her own question. I remember the last time I saw Slowking take action in an elf battle, it was last year's national competition. Cai Swanyi stared blankly at the fat pink figure wearing a golden conch cap in the field. No way, haven't you even seen it? You are Professor Yang Yu's students, this. Chen Leshan from Yanjing Music Elf Academy was extremely surprised. What I mean is that it's equivalent to strength, that's not right. It's an elf battle with a gym level elf. That kind of elf battle with a very high level of strength. I've never seen Slowking take action, Cai Swanyi explained. Lily Sakura thought for a while, and she did hear about the battle at Mount Fuji outside the secret realm of Sky City, but she didn't see King Slow's action at that time. So to say, this should be the first time we have seen King Slow take action at the gym level, Hu Jing concluded, her heart trembling with excitement at the same time. What kind of terrifying strength will Professor Yang Yu's Slowking show? Bang! 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 Metagross has a silver X-shaped metal cross on its face. Under its black and red eyes, this huge mechanical life form puts heavy pressure on the field with every step its limbs step on the ground. Metagross stared solemnly at the dude in front of him. Dudu also looked at his opponent, this time seriously. They both have superpower attributes and can feel the terrifying strength of each other. But what shocked Metagross was, it cannot calculate and simulate the specific strength of this Slowking. Metrogross, Eye of Miracle. The gym leader Aizen still followed his best fighting rhythm. His opponent Yang Yu sent out Slowking. He was not worried at all. Slowking's super-type moves had 4 times the resistance effect against the dual-type Steel and super-power Giant Gold. Weird, it doesn't cause any splash at all. So, you only need to pay attention to the hidden fire-based moves. As for the ghost-based move Shadow Ball, even Slut King Hui and his Metagross can master it just as well, and are even extremely proficient. The Eye of Miracle can see through the opponent, which is Metagross's best move, because after seeing through it, super analysis will be carried out, and all actions of the opponent will not be able to escape Metagross calculations. Only, the situation was not what Aizen imagined. In the eyes of Metagross, Dudu is like an unseen opponent with 3 question marks, just like a boss in an online game that exceeds the player level, whether it is health, attack, or even defense. Speed, are all. There are many question marks in the eyes of Metagross. Regarding the command, Dede could understand what Yang Yu wanted to say with just a thought. The effect brought by the power of waveguide is barrier-free communication between elves and trainers. This has an incredible effect in the battle between elves. Stay, gravity field. This should be the first move that Dede used in the battle between elves. This move was learned and mastered in the secret realm of the center island of the world, but he never had the chance to use it. Now, it has its place. Using the power of the super system to create an entire field space, especially in the super system gym, is a show-off skill, because in the field space, the gravity field must cover the entire field, which means using it blankly the superpower must not only be powerful, but more importantly, accurate. When creating a gravity field, precision is the only important criterion. Suddenly, there seemed to be several dull sounds coming from the venue. On the field, Metagross' huge body sank suddenly. 4 potholes suddenly appeared on the battlefield of the super gym. The cause of the potholes. This is the terrible effect caused by Metagross's own weight under this gravity field. What happened? Why does it seem like Metagross's body suddenly sank? Wait, I get it, it's gravity. Gravity field. It was King Slow who imposed gravity field in the elf battle arena. Does King Slow still master such an unpopular super-type move? The students who came with Yang Yu couldn't help but exclaimed. Their performance was almost exactly the same. The North American people in other places in the audience also widened their eyes and were completely stunned for the first time. The silence speaks. King Slow seemed to have done nothing on the field, and the super-type gym leader Aizen's Metagross was directly attacked by an unknown move. Super power, almost invisible power. Such a duel would make people feel all kinds of weird. Gravity field, this is not an upset. It is a move that the elves need to control the superpower. They need to master it to the extreme to truly understand it, Lily Sakura said solemnly. At this time, as a teaching assistant, she was not sure about her understanding of the moves. Is definitely much better than these students, because her vision is broader. Hu Jing on the side quickly responded, if the gravity field is not used properly, it will trap yourself, but you see, Professor Yang Yu's Slow King is not affected by the gravity field at all. Yes, if the super-type elves have not reached the gym level, it is recommended not to learn the gravity move. In this venue, any flying elves or elves that can hang in the air will lose the ability to fly or hang in the air. For them, losing such ability is equivalent to direct defeat. Metagross can fly in the air using electromagnetic levitation, but now, in the gravity field, Metagross's own gravity makes it difficult to move. The inadvertent cooperation between Lily Ying and Hu Jing suddenly made these students who were still confused understand. Lily Ying was surprised for a while. Jing, it's not bad. Hu Jing replied, you are not bad either. The two people's eyes fell on the venue at the same time again. They couldn't bear to miss this showdown between superpowers and superpowers, even for a second. In this gravity space, the weight that Metagross is usually proud of has become an absolute constraint at this moment. Even walking is basically impossible with its heavy body. Because the gravity multiplier of the gravity field is still increasing. Ganga. Metagross wanted to use all its strength to lift its limbs, but it was extremely shocked to find that in the rapid calculation of its supercomputer brain, the multiple of the site's gravity. It has reached nearly 20 times. What is this concept? This means that as long as Metagross is in this area, due to its own weight, even breathing for 1 second is wrong. Aizen, what is he doing? Why isn't he commanding Metagross to fight? He is committing a crime. Mackensen was breathing rapidly and his voice was high-pitched. If he hadn't been in the gym battle now, he would have gone straight to question. Aizen. What are you doing? Gravity field, damn it, how confident are you in using the gravity field in front of my super gym leader, and how much do you look down on me? At this moment, the owner Aizen's eyes were already red. Gravity field. This is the specialty of these gym-level super elves in Aizen. It's just that Aizen never expected that Yang Yu, a Chinese trainer, would actually perform this move in front of him in advance. This is undoubtedly a slap in the face. How could the museum owner Aizen endure this? However, there is another very scary fact. It seems that this gravity field is more powerful than the gravity field used by Aizen's Metagross. This is impossible. This must be an illusion, I must have felt wrong. The owner of the museum, Aizen, was trembling all over at this time. Under the slightly cold air of ice and snow, Aizen's forehead was already covered with a layer of ice. Layers of hot sweat. Metagross, using the gravity domain will make it difficult for us, and it will also be uncomfortable for our opponents. The game has just begun. This is the first game. Aizen underestimated Yang Yu's inner thoughts about winning the game with a super show of skills. Similarly, he also underestimated Yang Yu Dewang's superpower. In order to combat the arrogance of trainer Yang Yu, Aizen sent out his most powerful Metagross in the first elf duel. Ganga. Under Metagross' X-shaped face, the steel teeth on its abdomen grind together to make an extremely harsh click, click, click sound. Another gravity field is forming around Metagross at this moment. In the field of gravity, not only can the gravity multiplier be increased, the more powerful the super elves can even reduce the gravity multiplier. Metagross must use its own gravity field to resist the gravity field exerted by King Slow. Come on, let's hurt each other. However, when this superpower that can freeze the air is exerted on the venue, something unexpected happened to everyone again. Boom! The figure of Metagross. Directly in the venue. Kneel down. What? How can this be? How so? The permanent trainers at the gym looked horrified. No. Isn't this Metagross's counterattack? How come? Climb for me. Yang Yu was startled by the sudden kneeling down of the Metagross. After all, it came too suddenly. You asked for this. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Pokemon's Character Master. Author, AI Ren Huo Shao. Chapter 873. Oh my god, what happened? Why did Metagross fall suddenly? I just heard that the Super Gym leader ordered Metagross to use the gravity field. Why, did I get down first? Look, Slowking, he is still standing very straight. Metagross' gravity field seems to be ineffective against him. How come? When Metagross' body fell out of control, all the spectators felt their hearts trembling. The light dust that was raised did not cover up the situation of the venue at this time. In the Super Gymnasium venue, a big hole has appeared. No, logically speaking, there are 4 small pits, surrounding one big pit. Metagross's body sank directly into the elves' battleground. In contrast to Metagross's embarrassed appearance, he is still standing in the field at this moment in a daze. What is a leisurely stroll? The current dullness is just strolling in this place, as if entering a deserted land. Metagross's scarlet and dark eyes, full of rage, have now become digitalized fear. It is true that Metagross has a brain comparable to a supercomputer, but at this moment, the opponent Metagross faces. It's the boss Slowking that has 3 question marks filled with, in Metagross analysis. Such a scene, in Aizen's eyes, made blood boil in his heart, directly rising to his throat. No one among the training families present was more familiar with the scene than him. This shows that the gravity field of Metagross is not as good as the gravity field of Yang Yude Wang. You still want to hurt each other, do you deserve the key? Yang Yu stretched out his index finger in the direction of Aizen and swung it from side to side. Sorry, you don't deserve it? Metagross is indeed very strong. Under normal circumstances, the weight of the elf itself is also a form of strength and deterrence. The physical strength of steel elves naturally has an advantage in the head-to-head battle between elves. Now, this advantage for Metagross is no longer there. It even turned into a disadvantage. What is a superpower? This is superpower. With a single movement of your hand, your opponent's advantages can be instantly annihilated, your strengths become weaknesses, and they can be expanded infinitely at the same time. In the gravity field, only truly powerful super elves can control it freely. The gym-level Metagross is indeed very strong, but, stupidly, it is even stronger. I said, I will defeat you here in the superpower gym using your best fighting method. Yang Yu's tone was very calm, but in this plain voice, these resident trainers were completely frightened. The owner of the museum, Aizen, had eyes that were about to burst. In such a scene, the opponent's elf would usually kneel helplessly in front of his Metagross, but at this moment, it was completely the other way around. Due to its own weight, Metagross was forced to take root in the venue due to gravity factors, resulting in difficulty in movement. Even the opportunity to counterattack was completely restricted. Metagross wants to move too. But all the superpowers in this area are controlled by King Slow. There is very little Metagross can do. Because most of Metagross moves are fired from the limbs, whether it's cannon light cannons or shadow balls, these powerful moves, at this moment, because it fell into the ground, are equivalent to directly cutting off 4 arms. It's hard for a clever woman to make a meal without rice, and Metagross can't even lift its arm, so how can it make a move? Dumb, it's over. Yang Yu spoke softly. In the field of gravity, Yang Yu believes that Metagross can also perform well, but it's a good fight, sorry. No, 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 it's not over yet, Yang Yu, you are just wishful thinking. Hall owner Aizen's eyes were red, and his whole expression became even more crazy as he was hit again and again. Metrogross, turn on the maximum power of the cannon and use the strongest earthquake. Gravity field, if this gravity field is completely broken, the field will naturally not exist. This is currently the only hope for Metagross to escape the constraints of the gravity field. Ganga. Metagross' eyes were once again fierce at this time. Under his four thick arms, each of the triangular metal claws began to condense the extremely bright light of steel power. Cannon light cannons, each of Metagross' thick arms can be used with full force. In the battle between elves, it is equivalent to 4 powerful attack beams. If these 4 cannon light cannons are combined, the power may even exceed the level of destruction and death. Light. The shocking changes that occurred on Metagross made all the spectators in the venue couldn't help but jump. Boom 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 boom. The earthquake effect occurred in the venue, and the tremors could be vaguely felt in the seats. You must know that when almost all elf gyms were first established, the earthquake factor in elf moves was taken into consideration. All materials are top-notch shockproof materials, and Boston Super Gym is no exception. There are layers of anti-seismic protection, and there are strong anti-seismic belts underground. In this way, the earthquake effect will only affect the elf battle arena, but the surrounding auditoriums outside the venue will be safe during the earthquake. Not greatly affected. But now, the audience sitting in the seats felt the movement under their feet. This move of Metagross uses the cannon to cause earthquakes. The power can be imagined. Just disintegrate the gravity field, hall owner Aizen grinned. As long as the gravity field is completely shattered and disintegrated, Metagross can return to its best attack field and battle rhythm. I am simply a genius. Aizen, great job. Mackensen waved his fist fiercely in the stands. Now he looked like the gym owner he knew. Aizen. There is no need to worry about the intensity of earthquakes at the elf battle arena. Which elf gym battle arena has not received education on earthquakes? As long as this elf battle is won, the Boston Elf Alliance will also provide subsidies for the Super Gymnasium to repair the battle arena. Repairing the battle arena will be more than enough. Only. George next to Mackensen looked at the scene in front of him and said inexplicably, "Boss, look at the appearance of this Metagross, does it look familiar? I seem to have seen it somewhere." Mackensen was stunned for a moment, glanced at George, then looked back at Metagross in the field, and subconsciously replied, "It seems a bit familiar. It's a bit like launching a rocket." George blinked, and Mackensen, the president of the Elf Alliance, suddenly stayed here at the same time. No way. Degree. Mackensen had an ominous premonition in his heart. Come on, Aizen, stop it." Seeing the changes in Metagross, Yang Yu was stunned for a few seconds. What the hell? Isn't this the scene in my memory of launching a rocket? Look, Metagross's forearms are like fuel boosters for a rocket. Metagross's discus-shaped body is better said to be a UFO than a rocket. Whether it's a rocket or a UFO, the unchangeable fact is that Metagross has now begun to ignite. Yang Yu looked up at the top ceiling of the Super Gym, and his expression became even weirder. Dadu, remove the gravity field. Yang Yu sighed and couldn't help but shook his head. Yeah. At this moment, the face of the museum owner Aizen suddenly froze, retreating, withdrawing just like that. What the hell does this mean? Are you looking down on the strength of my Metagross? Look quickly. In the audience, there was an exclamation that cut through the sky. Boom 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 boom. Just as Metagross was in a confused state of, Metagross broke free from the constraints of the gravity field. under the effect of the powerful propulsion device of the forearm cannon. Just like a wild horse that was freed from stiffness, it went to the sky with a swish sound. Oops, Mackensen watched as the worried scene really appeared in front of him, watching the Metagross launch speed suddenly increase to the maximum, getting closer and closer to the ceiling of the super gym. The closer. Mackensen subconsciously closed his eyes. Boom. On the battlefield between elves, there was a loud noise that resounded throughout the sky. Metagross, as if using a rocket headbutt, directly knocked a huge hole into the ceiling of the super gym. The North American audience was dumbfounded, as were the students and teaching assistants brought by Yang Yu, including the gym's resident trainer and president of the Boston Elf Alliance, Mackensen, and the super-powered gym leader Eisen in the venue. Everyone was dumbfounded. Metagross, ascending to heaven. And it still lifted off like a rocket at an incredible speed. At this moment, the Metagross in the sky was confused. Who am I? Where am I? What the hell am I doing? Especially when Metagross looked down at the ground, there was a hateful human trainer waving goodbye in his direction on the ground of the gymnasium. At the same time, in some office buildings, shopping malls, and all kinds of people on the road around the super gym, they all heard the loud noise coming from the super gym. Degree degree, degree degree, degree degree. Everyone who didn't know the truth stopped and looked up. Mom, look, there's a UFO. Silly boy, that's not a UFO, that's a rocket. The ceiling of the super gym was blown apart. What happened at the super gym? I want to see it, I want to see it, I want to see it. After a period of shocked silence, an idea came to everyone's mind. Go to the super gym, buy your tickets and see what's going on inside. The staff selling tickets at the entrance of the super gym beamed once again when they looked at the surging crowd of customers. They thought the tickets would no longer be sold. Now. Developed. The owner Eisen is really a genius publicity master. Being able to work for such a smart owner is truly a blessing in life. Bonus, here we come. The staff were all very motivated. Slow down, everyone has it, everyone has it. Cough 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 cough, congratulations to Metagross, the launch was successful. Yang Yu arched his hands in the direction of the gym leader Eisen, with a smile on his face. People who didn't know it really thought he was celebrating the super gym leader Eisen. As everyone knows, Yang Yu is secretly frightened at this moment. The four-wheel drive brothers in the cartoon do not deceive me. The North American team's jumper special skill, the powerful propulsion device, is indeed fierce. Look, Metagross has torn through the ceiling of the gym. So scary. Pokemon's Character Master. Author, Ai Ren Huoqiang Xiao. Chapter 874. Eisen, the leader of the super gymnasium, was as stunned as a sculpture. He raised his head and looked at the big hole at the top of the gym that was opened by the direct impact. The sky was so blue and the sunlight was so dazzling. Metagross flies so high. The Metagross, which was tightly suppressed in the gravity field, suddenly broke free from its restraints. Coupled with these four powerful thrusts from cannon-light cannons. If the giant metal monster doesn't go to heaven, who will? Hey! In the VIP area, Mackensen slapped himself on the forehead. Looking at the extremely painful scene in front of him, it seemed that George really didn't say anything wrong, and he didn't feel wrong either. Metagross really was. The rocket took off and blasted a big hole into the super energy gym. Mackensen was even more surprised by the sudden surge of people at the entrance of the auditorium. George, what's going on? Why did so many people come in suddenly? George made careful gestures. Boss, I think it was the movement caused by Metagross from the sky that attracted all the people around him. People are born to like to watch the excitement, and people in North America are no exception. It's just that at this time, Mackensen doesn't want to see so many people at all. He, another elf gym suffered at the hands of Professor Yang Yu. No, this is not the super gym leader who ordered Metagross to use the most powerful cannon. He wants to die. How can he blame Professor Yang Yu? Hurry up, take a photo and send this photo back. Ha ha ha, then the domestic gyms will start to target Professor Yang Yu again. You must not fight at the gym headquarters. This super gym leader also doesn't believe it. Evil person. Try or die. The entire gym was shocked and fell into a state of inexplicable comedy. This Metagross is too strong-headed. So what should we do next? When will Metagross fly back from the sky? How to calculate this round of elf battle, does anyone know? Of course, the super gym leader's Metagross will lose. If it exceeds the time, it will be a direct loss. I've never seen this scene before. Report, Metagross flew directly into outer space. In the lively auditorium, these North American audiences saw this extremely magical ending for the first time. The gym leader himself ordered, to smash the ceiling of his gym. However, anyone with a discerning eye can see that Metagross was forced into a desperate situation and had to do this, but the final outcome seemed to be tilted in an irreversible direction. It is precisely because of this that the Chinese trainer Yang Yu and his elf Slow King in the venue appear even taller. Alu. He blinked his big eyes blankly. He touched the back of his head naively. He didn't expect such an ending, well. Poppy. Boom. Tijipai and Jigglypuff, who were watching the battle, were very excited. The bigger the scene, the more excited the two elves felt. The embarrassed figure of the Metagross in the sky finally slowly appeared from the big hole, and then landed. The power of the cannon's instant ignition was itself overloaded with pressure. The moment the gravity field was instantly removed, Metagross' mechanical nervous system suffered a certain disorder. When Metagross broke through the ceiling of the super gym, it was already too late. Metagross left the elf battle arena for longer than the 3 minutes stipulated by the Elf Alliance. During these few minutes, Metagross has been debugging its disordered nerves. Now, it needs to rest and restart. In other words, one needs to think about life. The blow that King Slow has brought to it is really too great. The Eye of Miracle cannot see through King Slow's strength, and at the same time, its own computing power plays no role at all in the battle against King Slow. This is a unilateral crushing of strength. Metagross, keep attacking. Gym leader Aizen obviously wanted to erase the rules of this gym battle, but for Metagross, who has a powerful brain, he immediately chose to refuse. The way of rejection was also very straightforward. Shut down and sleep. Owner Aizen. Yang Yu. Metagross, as the ace elf of the gym leader Aizen, lost directly to King Slow in the first battle, and in an extremely frustrating way, and even blasted a big hole in the ceiling of the gym. How could the museum owner Aizen accept such an ending? However, this is the fact, the irreversible fact. Metagross is arrogant, just like Aizen. Being ruthlessly defeated in the field he is best at. Aizen felt that there was a gaze in front of him looking at him. There was no doubt that it was that hateful trainer Yang Yu. Now, Yang Yu must be laughing at him, right? Aizen once again held another pokeball from his side. The battle between elves is not over yet. The defeat of Metagross does not mean that Aizen has no other super elves to fight. Although the remaining 5 super-type elves are slightly less powerful than Metagross, they still have gym-level strength. Go, telepathic clay puppet. Aizen took back Metagross and sent out his second elf. After the elf ball flashed, the figure that appeared in the field made Yang Yu's expression solemn. The name of the elf is still the telepathy clay puppet, but this telepathy clay puppet is completely different from the group of telepathy clay puppets that Yang Yu sent Hakran to beat up. The telepathy clay puppet in the hands of the hall owner Aizen. The black body seems to have the effect of swallowing light. If I had to use one word, it would be black hole, but it is different from a black hole. What is in front of me is a living elf. I feel the power of the universe. This is a telepathic clay puppet from outer space. Darkrai, who was in the shadow of Yang Yu, was extremely shocked and told the origin of the telepathic earth puppet in front of him. This origin made Yang Yu extremely surprised. Could it be a controversial topic in the World Elf Alliance? Does it really exist? This reminded Yang Yu that in the history of the World Elf Alliance, human trainers went to the world of outer space for the first time and landed on the moon for the first time. It was under the leadership of the North American Rocket Launch Center that they took the first step towards the outer world. First steps to space and the moon. Darkrai, are you saying that the true origin of this telepathic clay puppet is that it originated from outer space? Is this an elf brought back from the universe? Yang Yu didn't know why, but his eyelids kept beating. Hearing Darkrai's explanation, his heart sank even more. No, the cosmic superpower of this telepathic clay doll is not very powerful. It should be the elf descendant of the telepathic clay doll brought back from space. Darkrai replied, even so, its cosmic power will be very difficult to deal with in an elf battle. These are two completely different superpowers from the natural superpowers in the elf world. Yang Yu began to rejoice in his heart. Fortunately, Darkrai was by his side to help him with his illiteracy. Otherwise, with Yang Yu's knowledge, he could only think that this telepathy puppet was not an ordinary telepathy puppet. Unexpectedly, this is the descendant of an elf belonging to the cosmic telepathic earth puppet. North America's exploration of the space world is far from the world's leading level. I don't know what other secrets of elves from outer space they hide besides the telekinetic clay puppets. Yang Yu couldn't help but guess. Regarding the elf with the power of the universe, Yang Yu couldn't help but think about that elf. Between Jupiter and Mars, living inside an asteroid, an elf known as an alien, a visitor from the sky, Deoxys. Cosmic power, mind power earth puppet. In the world of elves, it seems that there are still many secrets that are deliberately hidden. This round of elf battle. It will be a showdown between the superpowers of the universe and the superpowers of nature. Stay, we're ready. GRRRRRR. The showdown is about to begin. Pokemon's Character Master. Author, AI Ren Huoqiang Xiao. Chapter 875. This telepathic earth puppet is much larger. At this moment, the body resembles a mysterious pattern formed by an unknown totem, and there seems to be an incredible bridge of power between the eyes of the telepathic earth puppet. The more powerful the super elves are, the more they can hide their true strength. Yang Yu admitted that after he sent Hakron and Little Dream Demon to draw a lot of telepathic clay puppets like spinning tops, he subconsciously thought that this type of elves were very weak. However, elves who can reach gym level strength. How could it be as simple as it seems on the surface? Perhaps it is precisely because of the power from the universe that the mind puppet can complete the complete transformation from the elite level to the gym level. In the super gym, these resident trainers almost all have a telekinesis puppet. Yang Yu had never thought about the specific reason before. He simply thought that there were many Libra puppets cultivated here in the super gym. When he saw this one in front of him, the telepathic earth puppet plus Darkrai's explanation of the power of the universe. Only then did Yang Yu understand in his heart how profound the foundation of an elf gymnasium really is. Thinking earth puppet, release the power of the universe. As expected, the decision of the museum owner Eisen was to let the telekinetic soil puppets release their familiar cosmic power and transform the elf battlefield into a cosmic-like space suitable for telekinetic soil puppets to engage in elf battles. All the eyes of the telekinesis puppets are open. It's so amazing. What kind of move is this? The super moves of this telekinesis puppet are completely different from the telepathy puppets I saw before. That's of course. The psychic clay puppet of the super-type gym leader Eisen is of course different from the telepathy clay puppet of the resident trainer. Gym leader Eisen's is much more powerful. The many closed eyes of the mind power clay puppet seem to have been unlocked from a mysterious seal. At this moment, a dusty cosmic power spread continuously in the venue. Just like the gravity field before Day-Day, it is only the main function of the cosmic power. It is more about condensing power into oneself and improving one's physical defense and special defense capabilities through the familiar cosmic space. This is the correct way to open the double defense elf telepathy doll. The power of the universe is not only that. On the head of the mind power puppet, at the top tip, there is an invisible and unpredictable force, which is continuously falling from the sky and condensing. This is the mysterious superpower from the universe. Mile. Boli. Tijipai in the audience seat clearly discovered this magical light. Of course, only Tijipai can see this light of the universe. Jigglypuff, who was next to Tijipai, looked around suspiciously. In the direction of the telekinesis puppet on Tijipai's little finger, Jigglypuff didn't find anything magical. Cosmic power, a mysterious move that only a few superpower elves can master, can improve one's double defense. More importantly, in the move research of the Elf Alliance, there is very little understanding of this move. I know it can improve the elves' physical defense and special defense capabilities, Lily Sakura said. Hu Jing also nodded in agreement. The history of the Elf Alliance records that this move is related to the mysterious elves in the universe. It may be accompanied by the meteorites, bringing the elves in the universe to the elven world. Regarding the exploration of the universe, the Elf Alliance in any country or region has been working hard to explore and research, but in this regard, North America is indeed at the leading stage. It seems that the Nianli soil puppet is not as easy to deal with as imagined, Cai Swanyi sighed. Do you think every trainer is like Professor Yang Yu? If we come to fight these gym permanent trainers, we need to use 100% of our strength to deal with every battle. Hu Jing shook her head, and then he said, Professor Yang Yu is indeed too powerful to be unreasonable. How have these students at Yanjing Conservatory of Music ever seen such an elf battle? Precisely because I could barely understand it. When the two teaching assistants Bai Heng and Hu Jing were analyzing it, I listened eagerly to their explanations, and then I could vaguely understand. It turns out there is such power. It turns out that the effect of cosmic power is like this. In the venue, Yang Yu he responded blankly, still with the most stable attitude, and remained unchanged in response to all changes. Because Data's strength is at a king level that this telepathic clay puppet has not yet had the opportunity to touch. More importantly, without Darkray's reminder, Yang Yu had already planned to let Data do this, even before Yang Yu's idea was informed to Data. Data's own thoughts, just with Yang Yu, with Data Darkray coincides with it. If Reggie Locke was here at this time, he would definitely remind Yang Yu. This is the best time to learn about different superpowers with the help of telepathic earth puppets. Cosmic energy is the original power of the universe. Just like Darkray's evil power and Salty Fish King's evil power, although they are both evil, there are differences between them. However, it is undeniable that, in the final analysis, the origins of these two evil powers are still the same. It's the only evil. This is the attribute power of different branches. The same is true for both the superpower of the universe and the superpower of nature. Although they are both superpowers, their branches are different, but their origins are exactly the same. In the venue, the cosmic energy condensed on the telepathy puppet seemed to make the dark color of the telepathy puppet darker. This effect seemed to be similar to the original return of the Salted Fish King. Under normal circumstances, the telepathic earth puppet seals all the cosmic energy in the other closed eyes, leaving only two eyes open, thereby maintaining the ordinary superpower it needs. Once all the eyes are opened, the untied seal will make the whole body of the telepathic earth puppet incredibly strengthened, and this is precisely the power of the cosmic energy. Space. At this moment, everything seemed to be completely floating. The moment he felt the energy of the universe, he seemed to realize something. He immediately transmitted his thoughts to Yang Yu through the power of the waveguide. The superpowers of the universe give priority to controlling the weightless environment, While the natural superpowers give priority to controlling the overweight environment, if you use superpowers in the universe, the first thing to consider is the weightless factor in the universe, but in this elf in the world, due to the existence of gravity, the gravity field controlled by superpowers generally only has a multiple of more than 1. Yang Yu roughly understood some of the differences between this cosmic energy and natural superpowers, but in the final analysis, the law of gravity is awesome. Newton is awesome. Yang Yu was secretly shocked. This superpower involves the universal gravity in the universe. Could it be that the Master Newton in his memory is actually the incarnation of a superpower? Otherwise, why would others be hit on the head by an apple and eat the apple with curses at most, but only Master Newton thought of the law of universal gravitation? In the venue, the posture of the telekinetic clay puppet seems to have entered a completely balanced state. As the space of the venue gradually evolves from the natural gravity space to the cosmic space, the telekinetic clay puppet does not need to use additional superpowers to maintain itself at all times. The posture, on the contrary, can directly stand in the space, completely stable. This is the moment when the power of telepathy is the most powerful. Psychic Earth Puppet, high-speed rotation, supernatural power. Eisen calmed down his anger at this moment, even if the extremely dazzling hole on the ceiling made him lose his mind for a while, but the most important thing was to win this elf duel. This trick has appeared before. It's just that forced moves and active moves have completely different effects. At this moment, the Nianli doll seemed to be transformed into a super-powered machine gun. While rotating at high speed, its magical power chunked like bullets, quickly shooting in the direction of the dumbfounded, and what is even more incredible is, the magical power bullet of the telekinesis puppet can last indefinitely. Yang Yu was dumbfounded as he watched this move of this telepathic earth puppet. I have to admit, there is indeed something. It's a pity that the opponent he met was Yang Yu's Heavenly King level Slow King. Stay, Magic Space. GRRRRRR. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Pokemon's Character Master. Author, Ai Ren Huoqiang Xiao. Chapter 876. In this cosmic space environment, time suddenly stopped. The mysterious space area that appeared in front of Dai Dai instantly condensed into space. It was the magic space that Dai Dai was famous for. It can be seen that these supernatural power bullets that attack quickly, at the moment they come into contact with the magic space, are like being immobilized. The moves fly at an extremely slow speed. If they only use their magical power, they will hit them. Dumb, it's really wishful thinking. Come on, Master. This is the real way to use the moves of the telekinetic clay puppet. Damn it, why can't we use this trick we learned from the gym owner at all when fighting against elves? The gym owner is the gym owner, and his understanding of elves and their moves is much better than ours. Damn it, it's blocked by the magic space. Don't forget how the owner of the hall dealt with super-powered elves with magic space. The unexpected and wonderful performance of the telekinesis puppet was like a shot in the arm of the gym's resident trainers. The dejection they had felt before disappeared in an instant, and their eyes began to shine, once again giving them a firm belief in victory. The previous defeat of Metagross was just an accident. If the time for Metagross to return to the field had not expired in the end, we could still continue to fight. Pity. There seems to be hope in this round, and the hope is great. Mkinson nodded frequently. At this moment, he felt relieved when he saw these new spectators. The presence of so many spectators when Metagross was so embarrassed before really made Mackinson, the president of the Boston Elf Alliance, a little embarrassed. Now, feel proud. At this time, there should be more viewers, right? However, George's face next to Mkinson was still gloomy. What's wrong, George? Boss, it's hard to say. Boss, Do you feel that this slow king is acting too calmly? Now, in George's eyes, the slow king in the field is like the boss who controls the thunder in the game. He responds easily and casually, without seeming to have done anything, just like. Are you familiar with the cosmic space created by telekinetic clay dolls? This idea arose in George's mind and became out of control. It's just that it's too magical. There is no copy of the game like this. Mackinson gave George a look and let him experience it for himself. Now that you have an obvious advantage, why are you saying anything depressing? At this moment, the chugging telekinesis puppet condensed the light purple superpower power into the supernatural power bullet and quickly completed the switch of moves. The light purple superpower power evolved into a purple ghost power. The power and supernatural power turned into a shadow ball, which was like switching professions, from super gunner to ghost gunner. Telepathy puppet, fire. The eyes of the little dream demon who was preparing to compete with Yang Yu were wide open. The gameplay of the telepathy puppet was simply a new version of the ship that had never been experienced before. Quickly switch under the 360 degrees high-speed rotation without blind spots, forming a turret through every area on the body that resembles an unknown totem, condensing and casting the shadow ball, and bombing each turret in turn. Is this still a double defense elf? Offense is the best defense. I have to say that moves like the Nianli Mewtwo are indeed a bit rogue, but I have to admit that the Nianli Mewtwo uses its advantages to the fullest. This is a feast of move bombing. It seems like King Slow is at a disadvantage, CAOU from Yanjing Music Elf University exclaimed. Probably not. CAOU, you see, King Slow seems to have been able to resist it with ease without any panic. And you see, none of these shadow balls can touch King Slow. In this way, the shadow balls are all within the field. It exploded, John Llewellyn observed very carefully. Everyone at Yanjing Elf University, aren't you nervous? CAOU couldn't help but said when she saw that Cai Swanyi was even in the mood to help Professor Yang Yu feed Tijipai and Jigglypuff with xylitol. The scene in front of me looks very unfavorable to Professor Yang Yu's Slow King. When Cai Swanyi heard that the person asking the question was CAOU, he suddenly realized that CAOU was not a student in Professor Yang Yu's elf battle class. He had never seen such a scene, so it was understandable. If the person asking the question was students from Yanjing Elf University, Cai Swanyi even wondered if this person had been sleepwalking throughout the semester. Need to receive Professor Yang's electrotherapy services. However, since he is a friend of the Music Elf Academy, Cai Swanyi is still very happy to answer, you have never taken Professor Yang Yu's class, and subconsciously know the power of Gyarados in Professor Yang Yu's elves. Whether it is a giant Gyarados, the Salted Fish King is still a Gyarados that can Mega Evolve. Super evolution, CAOU couldn't help but gasped. In an instant, the attention of the other four people also gathered. Teacher Cai Swanyi's small class has started. That's right, don't you know? Oh, by the way, I remembered that you are not students in Professor Yang Yu's elf battle class, and you have never seen the Super Gyarados sent by Professor Yang Yu in the battle at the Dragon Gym. CAOU. The remaining 4 students of the Music Elf Academy. Wow, is this so heartbreaking? My mentality is broken. However, you still have to listen. Professor Yang Yu's Slow King is stronger than the Gyarados that can super evolve. I don't know the specific strength compared to the giant Salted Fish King, but I can only give a rough description. Stronger than the super evolved Gyarados. What level of horror is this? CAOU and the 5 students felt dizzy after hearing this. Professor Yang Yu's strength, if you just look at the surface, it may not mean much, because Professor Yang Yu usually doesn't show off much, but once you get to know it carefully, that's the real horror. You just need to know that no matter how fancy the moves of this telepathic earth puppet are, they will not have any effect on Professor Yang Yu's Slow King. Do you know what there is to say? Cai Xuanyi glanced at the faces of Caou and the 5 students from Yanjing Music Elf Academy in turn. Looking at the expectant looks in these students' eyes, Cai Xuanyi spoke. Simple is the best. Caou. The remaining 4 students. The dullness in the field, the natural superpower in his own body, and the superpower in the universe are similar, and even, in some aspects, are purer than the cosmic power of the telekinetic earth puppet. What is the King of Heaven? Dade's understanding of the power of nature is combined with the teachings of his master Lao Hudi and Senior Tutegui. At the same time, through his own unique way of food, he has gained a better understanding of nature and opened up a way for Dade to be promoted to the King of Heaven. A unique path. When Dade Jian exerted a mysterious power that evolved from natural superpower into cosmic superpower in the cosmic energy space created by the telepathy puppet. All the spaces in the venue seemed to have undergone incredible changes in an instant. The telepathic clay puppet's attack moves came to an abrupt end in an instant. The space really seems to be frozen here. Each of the telepathic clay doll's eyes were wider than a copper bell, looking in the direction of the dumbfounded eyes with an unbelievable look. Because, at the stupid fingertips, it seems that the natural superpower can be used to evolve and transform into the superpower of the universe. What does that mean? The Nian Li Do is panicking. Perhaps to other elves, or to other telepathic earth puppets that have not yet mastered the energy of the universe, there is nothing particularly magical about this. It is precisely because this telepathic soil puppet has mastered the energy of the universe, that we understand the horror of it. The cosmic energy of the mind power earth puppet comes from the universe. This power, based on the current gym level strength of the Nian Li Do, can only be borrowed, which is equivalent to absorbing the superpower of the universe in the universe to strengthen its own strength. But what about Dudu? The superpower of nature instantly evolves into the superpower of the universe, which means me for the universe. The telepathic earth puppet currently only borrows the power of the universe. Dudu seems to have become the incarnation of the power of the universe. How can the light of fireflies dare to compete with the bright moon? An idea came to mind for no apparent reason. The Earth is too scary, let's go back to Mars. Almost at this moment, the superpower of the universe that instantly became chaotic on the telekinesis puppet covered the entire battlefield of elves. You know, the most critical core of the superpower of the universe. It's all about weightlessness. The chaotic superpower of the universe, how terrifying will it become when the thought of returning to space suddenly pops up in the minds of telepathic puppets? Click, click, click. On the elf battleground, under the previous rounds of bombing by shadow balls, a large area of the ground that was inherently unstable rose up directly in the weightless environment. Together with a large piece of ground, it is like forming a small city in the sky. In this weightless environment, with the thought of the telepathic clay puppet taking off, the scene is even worse than the previous rocket launch of Metagross. Even more spectacular. Aizen? Nian Li Do, what do you want to do? What are you doing? Stop it. Yang Yu's eyes almost popped out of his head. Is this telepathy puppet crazy? Lying on the grass, Darkrai in the shadow was even more astonished. The superpower transformation that appeared on Dade's body, this is what it feels the most terrifying. What kind of devil elf is this devil trainer? The sudden change left all the audience stunned. Watching a large piece of ground under the telekinesis puppet break away from the shackles of the ground and quickly rise into the air. Boom! If Metagross rocket went up to the sky and only made a hole, then it directly kidnapped a telepathic clay doll on the ground of the elf battleground. He ran away carrying a large piece of the ceiling. Heaven! How could this happen? How could this happen suddenly? Aizen was stunned on the spot. Yang Yu was silent for a while, and then slowly uttered a few words. Up. Darkrai in the shadow. Are you a devil? Pokemon's character master. Author, Ai Ren Huo Xiang Xiao. Chapter 877. The mind-powerful Earth puppet has ascended to heaven again. Why add and? This time, a bigger hole appeared in the ceiling of the super gym. The hole where Metagross rockets went up to the sky was still right next to it, with a larger one and a smaller one, echoing each other. If the ceiling had an expression, it would be, "Oh. Oh. Knock it inside. Mom, look, there's a flying saucer there again." "Silly boy, that is, wait, is this the city in the sky?" "What, the city in the sky?" "The city in the sky is coming to our North American region." Something strange happened in the super energy gym, but why do I feel like it's a space probe? Geeky, such a big thing happened twice in the super gym. What happened? Report to the security center that a UFO appeared in the sky over Boston. According to image detection, a mysterious elf hijacked the ceiling of the super gym and escaped. Do you think I'm a fool? Report to the security center. Really, there are two big holes in the ceiling of the Boston super gym. I suspect that a mysterious organization has kidnapped some elves from the Boston super gym. Is the Boston super gym such a loser? You can't even defend your hometown. In the super energy gym, there was silence at this moment. The telekinesis puppet staged a drama of escaping from the super gym, leaving the gym leader Eisen's mind completely blank. 5 minutes have passed. Nianli Earth puppet. Why haven't you come back yet? Although Metagross came back late in the end, at least the elf came back. Why did the telepathic clay puppet stand on the battlefield, carry the ceiling, spiral into the sky, and then not come back? What the hell is this? Yang Yu looked at the super gym leader Eisen still standing there in confusion, and reminded him with a smile full of kindness, "Master Eisen, shouldn't, go up and take a look." Go up, how? If in the past, the ceiling of the super gym could be opened in a high-tech, cyberpunk way. With the help of the superpowers of the super elves, they could fly freely in the stadium and rise into the sky at the same time. What now? There is no need to open the ceiling. There are two holes, one large and one small, to meet any need for heaven. Eisen, the situation is not very good. I just received a message from the security center that a UFO is circling at high speed over Boston. The police department has dispatched a large number of air marshals to prepare to intercept it. At this time, Mackinson received urgent news and couldn't care about so much anymore. The battle between elves? This Mimima elf battle is like a terrorist attack, and now the entire Boston has entered a first-level air alert state, because telepathic clay puppets are constantly hovering in the air, and part of the elf battle arena has this weird ceiling. It's like a weird house. So the question is, the next battle between elves, to fight, or not to fight? If you don't want to fight, let's first lift Boston's airborne first-level alert status. However, in this way, Boston's super-type gym is destined to become a laughingstock among the elf gyms. Keep fighting, what should I do now? It is true that the security center has issued a level 1 alert and the air police are ready, but the telepathic clay puppet is a gym-level super elf. In the world of elves, not to mention the teleportation of super-powered elves, the current state of the telekinesis puppets, if they are stimulated, they can spin at high speed to hit the supernatural power or boom 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 to fire the shadow ball. Once one of them is not solved properly, Boston will really become a terrorist attack on Boston. At this time, even if a king-level trainer comes over, it would be better for the gym owner Eisen to go there in person. After all, the owner of the telepathy clay puppet is Eisen. The gym battle is suspended. Boston has issued a first-level air alert status. Let's fight another day. The gym leader Eisen's face was livid. What could he do? He was also in despair. It had been a good battle between elves for only a short time, but Metagross rocketed straight into the sky in the first round. Such a level of loss could be tolerated by the super gym. But The telepathic clay puppet took off again, causing the Super Gym's losses to increase dramatically. Looking at the lack of a large area on the ground, and looking at the tattered ceiling above, if it weren't for the emergency, the owner Eisen would have wanted to go out and beat people in person. However, there is one thing to say, Yang Yu Tian practiced 1v1 with the real person Frog, and he was really not afraid of fighting with other people, so Eisen was probably knocked down by Yang Yu in just a few moves. The figure of the owner Eisen flickered, and directly under Hooty's superpower, he left the elf battle arena through the large hole in the ceiling above. The venue was quiet, as if the devil was in the world. Leave now. Super Gym leader Eisen is leaving now. What did he just say? Boston Air Force Level 1 alert, what is this? Wait, I received a text message reminder. Almost all the people subconsciously lowered their heads and glanced at their mobile phones. At the same time, Lily Ying, who was on Cai Swanye's side, also heard the sound of a message coming from the mobile phone. Lily Sakura lowered her head and looked at the messages on her phone, her expression becoming strange again. A UFO appeared in the sky over Boston, and the air police issued a level 1 alert, asking citizens to take shelter in buildings, stay away from home for the time being, and pay attention to safety. What is this? Why is there news on Lily Ying's mobile phone? Hu Jing couldn't help but ask. Lily Ying blinked her eyelashes slightly and looked at Hu Jing with a smile, because this is money's ability. What, a UFO appeared here in Boston, ha ha ha, is it this, the telepathic clay puppet that Professor Yang Yu just shot? No way. Oh my god, this is big news. Can I say that Professor Yang Yu is awesome? Another gym suffered a disaster. Professor Yang Yu, so terrifying. On the battlefield between elves, only Yang Yu was left as a trainer. Looking at the empty position in front of him, fortunately, there was Day-Day and the little dream monster accompanying him, so Yang Yu felt a little better. Isn't Eisen running away too fast? However, as a peace-loving trainer, Yang Yu would certainly not force Eisen to do anything. What he was also curious about now was what happened between Dudu and the Nianli doll in the battle just now. Why did the Nianli doll suddenly, and ran away while carrying the ceiling for no reason? The Super Gym has not yet closed down. I don't know if Eisen has a sister-in-law, Yang Yu. It's just that it happened too suddenly during the battle between elves, and I didn't have any precautions. Yeah. He scratched the back of his head blankly. To be honest, he didn't know what happened specifically. He just transformed the natural superpower into the cosmic superpower by communicating with the energy of the universe, and then that was it. Darkrai, do you have any ideas? Since Reggie Locke is not here now, it is okay for Yang Yu to ask Darkrai. These two elves have a lot of knowledge, and there are no problems at all in some databases. I'm not a super elf. How do I know? If it's Cresselia, the god of dreams, she might know more about the superpower of the universe. Darkrai spread his hands. What Darkrai said made sense, and Yang Yu found himself speechless. But humans, don't even think about looking for Cresselia. When she comes, I have to run away. Yang Yu coughed lightly, he just had the idea of going to the dream god. However, Yang Yu is not in a hurry now. Darkrai, the god of nightmares, is by his side. Can Cresselia, the god of dreams, be far behind? However, this cosmic superpower may really need to be studied carefully. It may be related to some unknown elves in the cosmic world. Yang Yu changed his mind. Darkrai didn't say anything this time. He had to admit that humans had a strong sense of exploration in the elven world, and they were also intelligent creatures. The made Pokeball can capture elves. The small Pokeball space can even inhabit huge elves like Gyarados. Now, human trainers are also understanding and exploring the superpower of the universe step by step. The unknown universe. Darkrai also wants to know some secrets in the universe. Why is his island called Crescent Island? The island of the dream god is called Full Moon Island. Islands, why are they related to the moon in the universe? Darkrai gradually disappeared. The little dream demon patted Yang Yu's cheek and signaled that the battlefield seemed to be all theirs. The resident super trainers all followed the gym owner Aizen to leave the super gym. All of a sudden, it has really become our venue. This Aizen is too irresponsible. No, I didn't destroy this venue. It was clearly done by Aizen's elves themselves. I will not take the blame. Yang Yu looked around and found that so many spectators were staring at him, as if he had been caught doing sabotage in public. He was not an invincible king of destruction. He really didn't do anything. Ahem, since the super gym leader has left temporarily, the elf battle will be here first. I don't know if you heard what the gym leader Aizen said just now. It's more dangerous outside Boston now. There are UFOs. The whole audience burst into laughter. UFO? I don't know what the ghost is. The audience here can see it clearly. The UFO is clearly a telepathic puppet that slipped away with a piece of the Super Gym's spirit battlefield and a large piece of ceiling. The people at the Boston Security Center really can't. Yes, they are all fooling the ordinary people. Do they really think the people are fools? After all, this incident happened in a super gym, and I am the challenger of the super gym, so I should go and have a look. If the gym owner has no way to take action, I might be able to help. Yang Yu blinked, as if many North American people couldn't understand the Chinese spoken here, so he quickly waved in the direction of Lily Ying and Hu Jing. He needs a translator. Waiting online, it's very urgent. Fortunately, both Beihuing and Hu Jing knew that Professor Yang Yu was not very good at English, so Beihuing did not fight, so the opportunity was given to Hu Jing. Hu Jing looked excited, barely controlled her speaking speed, and translated Professor Yang Yu's words loudly. Applause came like a flood, and gradually, the cheers and support became louder and louder. As for the elf battle? Haha, a normal person can see that Super Gym leader Aizen cannot beat this powerful Chinese trainer. Those who love face will always think that Super Gym leader Aizen is leaving this time. In fact, it was to give trainer Yang Yu some face. 2 gym-level super-type elves came to the sky one after another. They couldn't even beat their opponent, a slow king. Moreover, the North American people in Boston knew that Metagross was the absolute trump card of the gym owner Aizen. The ace elves still lost. So miserable. For the rest, don't talk about it, just order the food and eat directly. The owner of Dayday Dessert Shop, King Dayday, this is too scary. Fortunately, our boss didn't let us think about causing trouble at Dayday Dessert Shop. He let us queue up at the door to buy desserts peacefully. Hiss, we must inform those who didn't come today not to provoke Dayday. Stay at the dessert shop, unless they think they are on the level of a king. Sitting in an inconspicuous seat, Halls, the General Secretary of the Elf Alliance, felt his heart pounding. Watching this small half of the elf duel made his scalp numb. Yes, 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 this super gym leader is no match for this Chinese trainer. How can we, the little guys, beat them? It would be great if they don't torture us, John. After taking a few breaths of air conditioning, he quickly added a few words, blood torture, torture to the point of doubting life. In the sky above Boston, Yang Yu left the shabby super gym with his assistants and students. When he looked down, from the sky above the super gym, the 2 big holes in the ceiling look like big torn pants, very eye-catching. Professor Yang Yu, what should I do if the North American elf gym stops fighting with you from now on? The elf gym here in North America has no other branches, only one headquarters. Lily Sakura sounded worried even though her tone, in fact, he had a smile on his face. It's so refreshing. It's so refreshing. The most important thing is that Professor Yang Yu did not let his elves maliciously destroy the gym. It was the owner Eisen's own elves who destroyed the gym, twice in a row. To frame the blame, if there are only Eisen and the resident trainers of the elf gym in the venue, it is really possible that Professor Yang Yu could be blamed for maliciously sabotaging the elf gym. However, the most amazing thing is that in order to expand the popularity of the Super Gym battle and to maximize the immediate benefits, Eisen even invited North American people to come to the gym, and there were really many people who came. Under the public gaze, everyone can see clearly. It's impossible to frame him. I'm afraid the ticket money collected by the Super Gym this time is not enough to repair the venue, right? Lily Sakura felt happy. How should I put it? Should I start some plans to get the money for the future maintenance of the Super Gym into my own hands? On the other side of the Western Pacific in North America, the Chinese Elf Alliance received a piece of news that made people laugh and cry. At the same time, this was also news that made the Elf Alliance feel extremely happy. The Super Gym in Boston, North America, was finally demolished by himself thanks to the efforts of the gym owner Eisen. That's right, the owner Eisen did it himself. This Yang Yu, why is he so keen on demolishing the gym? But, well done, Yan, the fairy gym leader, smiled and shook her head, and then ordered with a very serious look, Yang Yu will come and destroy the gym in the future. Now, you must not let him come here, take him directly to a venue in the suburbs. Yes, the owner. All the resident trainers in the fairy gym responded in unison. Pokemon's Character Master. Author, Ai Ren Huo Chiang Shao. Chapter 878. This is Lu Fang, the Yanjing TV reporter in Boston. This is Lu Fang, the Yanjing TV reporter in Boston. We can now see that in the sky behind me, there are 124 journalists gathered here. The air marshals in the first level alert status of the Stanton Police Department are on the backs of the Warrior Eagles. The thing in front of them that looks like a flying house is a UFO. We can see that this UFO has been circling over Boston. Some people say that this is a sign that the secret land of the Sky City has come again in less than a year, but this time it is not in the Sakura Kingdom, but in North America. The urban traffic here has been blocked. Later I will take the Yanjing Taiwan special number by Dio to go to the front line to learn more about the situation. This UFO incident in Boston lasted less than 10 minutes. It can be said that it has aroused great concern in the elf world around the world. Most people's first impression of UFOs is that they come from outer space. In the elf world, things that come from outer space often have incredible secrets. For example, the Moonstone can allow some elves to evolve, as well as the mysterious superpower elves Moonstone and Sun Rock in the elf world. Whether it is an elf prop or an elf, they are closely related to the universe. In the historical process of this elf world, human trainers have been advancing in their exploration of the universe. Every country and region is unwilling to give up space elf resources. Therefore, this UFO incident has the global sensation will be much greater than imagined. The UFO is spinning and jumping. It feels like it has hijacked a house. What magical secrets does it have inside? I hope the North American side will give a reasonable explanation. Excuse me, the UFOs originated from the Boston Super Energy Gym. Can I think that North America was secretly researching aircraft in the Super Energy Gym because of some reasons that caused the UFOs to appear? If such a picture were approached in science, there would be at least an 18-episode TV series dedicated to analyzing the specific reasons for the formation of UFOs and the real secrets. Only when the secrets are finally revealed. There seems to be something spinning inside. Is it a high-power engine? Is this an alien spaceship? After repeatedly eliminating issues worth thinking about, I finally came to a conclusion. It turns out there is an elf inside, a telepathic clay puppet. So why is the telepathic clay puppet spinning among this UFO, and why is it still hovering over Boston? That's what's coming next in the next season of Science. The Warrior Eagle Air Police, with such a configuration, it is indeed fierce. Yang Yu led the students to keep a safe distance from the UFOs. These North American air police officers in navy blue uniforms did look quite imposing on the warrior eagle. The warrior eagle is a symbol of flying elves in North America. In England, flying elves such as doves, cuckoo doves, and proud pheasants are very common. In the country of polar bears, the flying elves represent its mukir, mukebird, and mukhawk lily. Sakura said simply. As for the rest that haven't been mentioned yet, the most common one is Baidiao. This is the most common flying elf in East Asia. If it is an air police, the flying elf equipped is Baidiao. The house birds in different regions have their own characteristics. If they are cultivated well, even the most common elves can exert incredible power. Professor Yang Yu, someone seems to be coming over there. It seems that there is a press card hanging on the chest, and there are several photographers behind Baidiao. They should be reporters, and they are probably reporters from China. Lily Ying has sharp eyes. Said. Reporter, Yang Yu was surprised. At the same time, Yang Yu somewhat admired the serious attitude of these reporters towards this profession. At least under such circumstances, the Boston Police Department of North America issued a Level 1 alert and even dispatched so many air marshals. These reporters still came to the front line fearlessly. Such a professional attitude is worthy of respect. I am Lu Fang, Yanjing TV reporter in Boston. Now we can see that in the sky, in addition to the air police here in Boston, there are also some ordinary people. Hey, that place looks a bit like us. Some trainers from China in Boston, the leaders, the elf is Venus. How could it be Venus? Reporter Lu Fang was suddenly shocked, and at the same time she looked overjoyed. Report to the main station. Professor Yang Yu of Yanjing Elf University was found in the area where UFOs were hovering in the sky, and Professor Yang Yu was also bringing his students. This is the main station. Please be sure to have a face-to-face call with Professor Yang Yu. Professor Yang Yu is a senior elf combat professor and has a deep understanding of elf understanding. This time the UFO happened over Boston. It happened to be Professor Yang Yu is nearby, which is a good opportunity to do some simple broadening of horizons for domestic audiences. Clear. The Chinese Elf Alliance basically knows the true cause of the UFO incident in North America, but most people in the country are still confused. The news came out of the blue, and the melon eaters hadn't picked up the melon yet, so they couldn't understand it even if they ate it for a while. At this time, it is very nice to meet a professional professor on site. It really means getting what you need, especially on site. The feeling of discovery on site and in front of the TV are completely different. Hello, Professor Yang Yu, I am Lu Fang, a reporter from Yanjing TV station. This is my press card. We are conducting a national live broadcast of the Boston UFO incident. Could you please accept our interview if you have time and help us analyze the possibility of the UFO incident and the specific reasons behind it? Lu Fang is worthy of being a Yanjing TV reporter. Regardless of the speed or clarity of her speech, she speaks very fast, but every word can be heard clearly by Yang Yu and his party. But the students behind Professor Yang Yu all seem to be puffing from time to time, covering their mouths for fear of laughing out loud, but they couldn't help it. This is what's going on. Poppy. The little dream monster in Yang Yu's hair and Tijipai in one hand's arms were both holding their stomachs and laughing. Yang Yu never expected that one day he would join in the fun and eat melon, and he would actually get it on his own head. To be honest, he just came here to watch the excitement, but why are there reporters here? Behind Yang Yu, the students winked at each other and told each other to be serious. This was a live broadcast on Yanjing TV. If they made a fool of themselves, wouldn't the whole of Yanjing and even the whole country be able to see their embarrassment? But the problem is, who can bear this? They are all true witnesses of the UFO incident. If we want to talk about the reason, it actually has something to do with Professor Yang Yu. At this time, the reporter came to interview the UFO incident and ended up interviewing the mastermind behind the incident. Awesome. There is no one else. Are you, really reporters from Yanjing TV? I'm sorry, I haven't been on TV before, so I'm not prepared. Yang Yu was also shocked. How the hell do you explain this? Talking about this in front of reporters and live broadcast, it was actually because in an elf battle, the Boston Super Gym leader's elf telepathy clay puppet couldn't beat Yang Yu's stupidity, which ultimately led to isn't the UFO incident equivalent to telling reporters I did this? No, no, no. Yang Yu, don't want to lose face? He also wanted to play more gyms in North America with peace of mind, but he didn't want to be driven home so early. Yang Yu coughed lightly and replied with a serious face, "Dear viewers, the first thing that comes to everyone's mind is that the UFO incident is related to the universe and the mystery in space." Seeing Professor Yang Yu start his lecture, reporter Lu Fang immediately frowned and said that she was listening very seriously, and at the same time nodded with a very serious expression. Elf alliances in different countries and regions around the world are exploring the unknowns of the elf world, including the unknowns of the universe. Therefore, I believe that the UFO incident is likely to be related to the power in the universe. For example, everyone has the superpower of the universe that I've heard about. Yang Yu's serious expression makes it feel like what he said is true. In fact, these are all true, but Yang Yu wants to transfer his attention to this matter, to other places, not to mention, Yang Yu, everything you say is true. Good boy, although I am waffling, I did mention this idea, the superpower of the universe. Although we started late in this aspect, we have been working hard to catch up. Elf Alliance Yanjing Headquarters. Regarding Professor Yang Yu's appearance on TV, the Elf Alliance has long known the inside story, but seeing Yang Yu looking a little deflated in front of the camera, it is quite interesting to talk about it. After all, it was Yang Yu who did this. But Yang Yu had to say a lot of truth to let people watching the live news know some useful knowledge. I have borne a burden that should not have been carried out at this age. Yang Yu thought silently in his heart. Damn it, I wouldn't have come to join in the fun if I had known about it. I loved the UFO incident in Boston, North America, but when I came to join in the fun, it was even broadcast on the news. Wow, your mentality is broken, okay. Yang Yu couldn't help laughing when he heard a few people behind him making pig noises, and the corners of his mouth twitched. After this matter is over, I will go play and be quiet by myself, without you guys. Yang Yu really wanted to say MMP. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Pokemon's Character Master. Author, Ai Ren Huo Chiang Xiao. Chapter 879. This little bastard, whether he is going to cause harm to other gyms, he should fight openly and in a fair and upright manner. Let's go and fight him. We are old bones, so we must support him from behind. Old Shitu, why are you standing here drinking from the northwest wind? Labor and management are willing, so what? Okay, don't catch a cold then, I'm not telling you, come down quickly, you are as old as an old naughty boy, you are the best on the entire rooftop. This video of Yang Yu being interviewed by Yanjing Taiwan reporter Lu Fang in Boston was watched over and over again by Shi Dingmo. He listened to it word by word from beginning to end. The more he watched, the happier he became, and the more he listened, the more he felt. Feel good inside. The Boston Super Gym that can fight is still unable to fight back after suffering a heavy loss. This is still rare for so many years. Especially Shi Dingmo didn't expect to see such a scene full of pride in his lifetime, and his heart was even more agitated. Old man Zi, that little bastard Yang Yu is right. No matter what the UFO is, even if the answer has been revealed by the telepathic puppet, we still need to step up and keep up in the exploration of the universe. Recently, our astronomical cosmic elf experts have made new discoveries, but the specifics of them need to be carefully discussed and studied. I said, "Old Shitu, when did you start paying attention to astronomy again? Hey, who are you looking down on? I was proficient in astronomy and geography back then. If you don't believe it, I'll tell you in detail. How did I lead the trainer out of that big forest? No, 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 I know you are awesome, okay. Hurry up, come down, you, a big old man, go up to the rooftop. Then Shanghai TV will come to interview you. Come, come, come down. It's very windy on the rooftop. Let's change a group of people. I'd better go back and make a cup of hot tea." Shi Dingmo swaggered to the ground with the help of Mengmensi. Little did he know that the tears of excitement were still clear in the corners of his eyes beside his white temples blown by the wind. Good boy. Boston, which has a time difference of nearly 10 hours with China, has already ushered in its own night. The UFO was finally resolved by the gym owner Eisen on his own and returned to the super gym. The super gym is about to enter a period of maintenance, and the entire ceiling has been severely damaged. Needless to say, the floor of the gym's battle arena has probably suffered the most serious damage in recent years. Among the 18 gyms in North America, the super gym has almost become a laughingstock, because the gym's venue and ceiling were smashed by the gym owner Eisen himself. It didn't matter if they were smashed, but he still lost. Even though Eisen stiffened his neck and said that the battle between the elves was not over yet, the other gym leaders were not fools. A dead duck has a tough mouth. Everyone said that if Yang Yu went to their gym, he would definitely avenge Eisen, and they also said that they would never smash their own gym to pieces like Eisen. So what did Yang Yu do? Did nothing. It's obviously Eisen's fault. Elf gyms in North America are not that united. Everyone has their own interest groups, and each gym represents the interests of one state or even several states. In short, taking this opportunity to suppress the super gym behind the scenes is a daily operation. Who made Eisen himself embarrassed? Yang Yu, who thought he would be at the forefront of the storm, quietly hid his achievements and fame. In Hada's Dai Dai dessert shop, no one who can't imagine coming here will come here to provoke maliciously. After all, despite the happy, naive, and amiable look of the dessert chef Dai Dai Wang inside when making desserts, once he takes action, your head will be blown off. At least that's what some people with ulterior motives think. Metagross and the telepathic Earth puppet have learned from the past, and no one is willing to try it. The nightlife in Boston, the elf world, is indeed a little different from that in Hangzhou. Yang Yu didn't know much about Boston, and if he asked Lily Ying or Hu Jing about Boston's nightlife, wouldn't it be a little strange? So the person he contacted naturally asked Fleisch, "Professor Wei is here." However, Professor Freshwell wanted to punch someone when he heard such a question. Why did a young guy ask him, an old man, about the nightlife in Boston? Knock it inside. Considering that Yang Yu recently fought in the Super-type gym and almost pushed the Super-type gym leader Eisen to the ground and beat him, Professor Flashwell rationally stopped the idea of coming to Yang Yu to fight the elves. If in the past, he really had to talk to this young man, could he say something humane? Was he here to show off to an old man like him? Professor Freshwell, I want to go to a nearby rock bar, or a place where rock bands gather at night, whatever. Fortunately, Yang Yu added a few words after that. Although Professor Freshwell was very suspicious of Yang Yu's purpose, at least it seemed a little easier on the surface. In addition, according to Yang Yu's schedule, in another 2 months, he would be there. It's normal to go to Los Angeles to participate in the Heat Rock Music Competition and experience some authentic North American rock music. There are several places I recommend. The Little Quanchi Bar on the west side of Hoffa is a good place. Of course, I just recommend it personally. If you are interested, Professor Yang, you might as well go to the street and watch the performance on the roadside. Whether it's rock music or something else, you can't hear great rock music only in crowded places at night. Yang Yu was a little surprised. The recommendation in Professor Flasvy's words is somewhat similar to the answer given by the students at Yanjing Music Elf Academy. Probably these young people have the idea of performing on the roadside and think it is cool. In short, they also recommend Yang Yu. If Professor Yang Yu wants to listen to North American rock music, he can meet many of them on the streets at night. It's just like grrrrrrr. Dada lit up a purple light bulb next to his head. Just like a roadside food stall. Some gorgeous hotels cannot produce the unique snack taste of some roadside food stalls. The more authentic the taste, the more likely it is in some small alleys with many people, because everyone knows that there are delicious food in the small alley. Real gold is not afraid of red stoves, and the fragrance of wine is not afraid of deep alleys. What is rock and roll? It's probably the free attitude of forgive me for being uninhibited and loving freedom in this life. Of course, there are many types of rock and roll. On the streets of North America, rock and roll is the music of freedom. Pang Ding needs some help like this. He can sing whenever he wants, without restraint, and let out his voice freely. Yang Yu turned around and glanced at the frog who was having a midnight snack. Such a flexible frog wouldn't want to learn the drums. Pity. Quack quack. The frog sensed Yang Yu's thoughts, and suddenly felt that the warm noodle soup in his hand was no longer fragrant. To be honest, with the frog's current body flexibility and sense of coordination, it is indeed very easy to learn piano and drums, an instrument that requires hand speed. Besides, it's not too much for Guatufrog to go out and do business to help Yang Yu make a little money, right? There is Darkrai, Day, Little Dream Demon, and Mimikyu. No matter where it is at night, Yang Yu's safety does not need to worry at all. We even have to worry about those who don't have eyesight. No one knows whether they will offend an evil person. After all, they carry the nightmare god Darkrai with them. Just ask if you are scared. If he wasn't afraid, Yang Yu would just take the microphone and sing a song. Now he must be afraid, right? Future friendly listeners are welcome to come by themselves. Singer Yang Yu welcomes you. Yang Yu heard Darkrai's reminder that someone was following him from a distance. There was no doubt that it was the people from the Boston Elf Alliance. They were the same group of people who were queuing up to buy desserts outside the Day dessert shop. Yang Yu is really touched now. The president of the Boston Elf Alliance is so considerate. Not only did he have people line up to give him money, but he also gave him so many bodyguards. Yang Yu even thought that this wave of official is the president of the Dun Elf Alliance, one of his own. Trainer Yang Yu is heading to the back alley area, which is a gathering place for some homeless people, including some wandering singers and scavengers. Copy that. Stay safe. It is hard to imagine that in this corner of the city, there is not much fishy smell, and you can even see some grass and flowers blooming in the corner. Seed. As if aware of someone's arrival, a Bulbasaur cautiously poked its head out, and then used a vine to cover the withered garlic on its back, and at the same time, protected the small flowers and grass behind it. Bowling. Jigglypuff blinked his big eyes and greeted Bulbasaur in a friendly manner. Poppy. The elves around Yang Yu all said hello to this Bulbasaur. Grrrrrrrr. Day gently twisted a drop of life water and dropped it at a small gap in the stone brick in front of Bulbasaur. Perhaps it's been a long time since I've received such a friendly greeting, and the crystal droplets of life that fall in front of it will glow at night. Bulbasaur was stunned for a moment. It wasn't until Yang Yu and his elves were farther away that Bulbasaur raised his head with a vine. This is a Bulbasaur that cannot evolve. Perhaps, just like the unknown corners of Chinese cities, there are wandering elves. The appearance of Yang Yu and his elves attracted the attention of many elves hidden in the corners in the back alley. At the same time, As we went deeper into the back alley, some of the rhythmic sounds of music inside gradually became clearer. Around the corner, Yang Yu and his elves all saw a very incredible scene in front of them. On a simple stage, you can see neat rows of people sitting in front of them. The clothes on these people may have some holes in them, and the stubble on their faces is a bit messy, but together with some elves on hand, they cheering and swaying to the rhythm of the music on stage. Bola. Sigma, Sigma. In the center of the stage, there was an elf, showing off its rhythmic dance steps and hoarse voice. 1. Cat Boss. Pokemon's Character Master. Author, AI Ren Huo Shao. Chapter 880. This is a fierce-looking cat boss. On its right eye, you can see a very obvious scar, which looks a bit like the elf's mongoose slash. However, the right eye of this boss cat is cloudy. The cat boss, who is extremely sensitive to the smell of danger, immediately stopped dancing on the stage. The hair on his body that was not soft stood up instantly. This confrontational posture and these scarred eyes revealed that he had tasted blood. The fierceness. If it were Yang Yu who had never experienced the world in the past, he might have been frightened by such a scene. However, Yang Yu, who had experienced the ultimate darkness in the depths of the deep sea, and was accompanied by elves, at this moment, Yang Yu, I didn't feel a trace of fear. The wanderers under the stage gradually cast their wary eyes on them, and at this moment the air became a little solemn and solemn. Jiggy ding. Yang Yu knows that the best way to eliminate the current hostility is music and rock. Yang Yu is a stranger here. It is Yang Yu who breaks into the lives of these wanderers. In addition, there are many wandering elves here. Friendliness is the best weapon. Bow. Bow. Seeing Jigglypuff's appearance in front of everyone, the expressions of these wanderers suddenly changed. They subconsciously thought, Jigglypuff wants to sing. In an instant, everyone covered their ears and took a step back toward the stage, preparing to let the elves around them make noise to counter Jigglypuff's singing. Bow bang ba 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 ba. Although Jigglypuff is afraid of the fierce-looking cat boss on the stage, the musical rhythm performance of the cat boss on the stage is something that Jigglypuff can't master yet, because the cat boss's stage performance is, in this free neighborhood, there is a kind of wanton and decisive freedom. It wants to learn. Yang Yu came here to look for music from the neighborhood, so he was destined to meet some singers from the neighborhood. Regardless of whether the singer was a human trainer or an elf, without exception, they were all worth learning from Jigglypuff. So now, Jigglypuff used his own rock equipment in his hands. This is something similar to a belt, which can be stuck on Jigglypuff's round body, filling Jigglypuff's belly with Tai Chi, just like wearing a hat in a daze. When Jigglypuff's hand is in, take out your own microphone from here on your belt. It's about to get serious. Although Jigglypuff's singing voice doesn't have much power yet, when Yang Yu is teaching it, he keeps saying the same sentence, a sentence that can make Jigglypuff firmly hold the microphone and sing. In my BGM, no elf can defeat me. Da 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 da. There was a trace of disbelief in the extremely vigilant eyes of these wanderers, and even the fragrant sentences starting with F in their mouths were about to spit out, and stopped abruptly at their lips. Jigglypuff's round ball-like body is swaying to the beat. With this rhythm, it seems that you can see the trembling of the ice cream-like hair on Jigglypuff's head. The trembling pattern follows the body shape. It seems that it is such a perfect fit. What, this Jigglypuff? The pupils of these wanderers shrank, because they could only hear a little bit of sound in their ears. Such a sound was not the gentle voice that sang and hypnotized them, but hoarse and powerful. What is this, rock and roll? Hey, when did Jigglypuff start entering the rock music scene? What did these wanderers hear? Their eyes subconsciously moved up and down following Jigglypuff's beats, and their heads nodded slightly along with them, feeling that something was wrong. Is this Jigglypuff? Is this still the singer Jigglypuff in their impressions who attracts customers with his soft and gentle singing in advertisements in major shopping malls? Meow. The hair that stood up on the cat boss's body gradually calmed down amidst Jigglypuff's beat and hoarse singing voice. There was even a hint of extreme tenderness in the left eye that could only be seen. Lotta. Next to the cat boss, a slightly dark-haired elf named Lotta turned his doubtful eyes to the cat boss in the center of the simple stage. He was somewhat similar to Lotta. A two-tailed monster used two of the same hands as his own. The tail scratched the left and right sides of his head respectively, and his eyes immediately showed a hint of excitement. Is this, there are elves coming to challenge them? The Boston neighborhood is not just a gathering place for wanderers and wandering elves. In this world of capital elves, there are many, many places like this, but they are all in the least noticeable places in the neighborhood. In other words, it's the corner where the sun doesn't shine. The music in the backstreets is something that homeless people and wandering spirits use to relieve their inner depression when no one is around. However, there are also some unwritten rules among homeless people because of the territory factor. Vagrancy regulations. If you appear in the neighborhood at this night, the visitor is a guest, music is the best way of communication, and the visitor is the enemy, then a fierce battle is inevitable. Jigglypuff's musical expression is still immature, but he still works hard to impress these strangers with his hoarse singing voice. If Jigglypuff wants to make progress, communication in music is definitely indispensable. These wanderers immediately covered their ears. Although the scene made Jigglypuff a little sad, he was used to it. Because it has seen too many such scenes. In the fairy gym of China, Jigglypuff's singing voice made many friends feel a little scared. They all covered their ears. Even if it was not intentional but subconscious, it would still bring some fear to Jigglypuff's heart. Lost. The accumulation of losses caused Jigglypuff to have one more trauma in his heart. However, there was no way. Because of his natural defects, Jigglypuff had to accept this reality, and the reality was so cruel. Until the appearance of that person. The man said that he would take him to learn singing together. The person said that he would bring it to North America for a concert, and even try to perform together. That person said, "Sing, Jigglypuff." Every elf has its own song, whether it is a low-pitched tune or a high-pitched tune, the score, beat, music, rhythm of the song, the instruments played, etc. The final singer is no one else, but yourself. Not singing well? It doesn't matter, no one is born with it. Hoarse voice? It doesn't matter, the power of singing comes from the heart and comes from the impassionedness deep in the heart. This is Juggernaut's song. Gradually, these homeless people who were covering their ears lowered their hands one by one. He even started clapping his hands to Jigglypuff's rhythm. Ta-ta, tap-ta. Snap, 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 snap. All communication is in this music. Meow. The cat boss's left eye glowed with admiration. Ta-da-da-da, snap. The two-tailed monster now picked up a beat drum made of waste plastic, and the tail behind it began to swing and beat. La la la, Lotta. Fat Lotta hit his belly with his hand. At this moment, music has no boundaries.